You need to take legal advice very quickly. You need to try and establish where they've gone and maintain contact, if you can, with the other parent and the child as amicably as possible. If you're not sure where they've gone, there are things we can do here in terms of obtaining disclosure to ascertain where they've gone. And then depending on where they've gone, that will dictate what legal action you can take in this country. Yes, you can, but you need to ensure that you go prepared. So ideally, you need some identification in terms of being able to prove that you are the child's parent or guardian, and that you have consent of the other parent so that you can pass through airport security smoothly. No, so you would need the permission of any person with parental responsibility for that child, or you would need an order of the court. It's exactly what it says on the tin. A consent letter is a letter that is signed by the other parent or anyone with parental responsibility for the child, giving express consent for that child to travel abroad. It needs to be signed and dated, and it should include their contact details as well as a form of identification which can be attached to the letter from them. So the Hague Convention is a treaty, it's a piece of law that countries have signed, mainly Western world countries, to say that if a child is brought in or taken out, that the Hague Convention, the laws in the Hague Convention will be applied to decide whether or not that child is to go back. So it's mainly non-Western world countries, for example, and it's not limited to these countries, India, Pakistan and Thailand. But if your child is removed to one of those countries that's not a member of the Hague Convention, then you should seek legal advice very quickly. Just taking England as an example, if your child was habitually resident here, living here, going to school here, and one parent removes your child to a Hague Convention country, then that's called an outgoing child abduction, and you would need to make an application to the central authority in England and Wales for the return of that child. They would then pass your application to the central authority in the other Hague country, and they would appoint a solicitor for you, and in that country the litigation would take place and a decision would be made as to whether the child would be returned to England or not. And if we flip that, if a child is brought in from a Hague Convention country, so if we just take Spain as an example, the application would be made by the parent in Spain to the Spanish Central Authority. They would then pass it to the English Central Authority, who would then appoint a solicitor, like me, on the panel of accredited lawyers, and then the litigation would take place here, which is where the child would be. In accordance with the Hague Convention, a decision would be made as to whether or not that child is being returned to their home country.